gives it that plants from broken.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph.
Good afternoon. My name is Oscar Lewis, Chief of Medical Sciences, Samburu County.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Levigato from the Samburu Water Disinfection Company.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Leflay, CC Water.
Stephen Legateki, Municipal Manager.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Dalmeke, Chairman Mara Municipal Water.
Good afternoon. Fred Kiamu, Chair of the Board of Directors, Samburu Water.
Good afternoon. I'm Francis Renakile, Chair, County Public Intervention Committee. Good afternoon. Chairman Vitalo, member of Panda Committee, and member of the committee.
Good afternoon. I'm Stephen Kagil, member of this committee.
Good afternoon. I'm Manuel Baka, clerk to the
Very well. Is there any other person outside?
Yeah, others outside. Yeah. I think they will, maybe they will work in terms. Why don't you
Chair,
change
when I
it?
introduce myself properly in another time.
Wait, just wait. Once we finish one entity, then the other entity comes in after as well. Yeah, proceed to introduce yourself.
Chair, I wanted to say that, yes, I see that I'm semi-perfect, but I'm also the women president, and I've seen all men, no women there.
Yes. I want to say we are women the other time. Only women. We come here.
Proceed, Senator Anita.
Thank you, Chair. Excellency, good afternoon. My name is Senator Hamida Kigwanga, member of this committee, and I support our president, Madam President. It's only fair on a governor that women at least are considered.
Yeah, so honorable members, we go to agenda number 3, which is administration of vote of witness and tabling of documents. And we will assist us with this aspect, assisted by our clerk.
proceed.
Honorable Chair, we received the responses within the set timelines. We have gone through the responses.
I wish to notify the committee as follows. For the Mararal municipality, we were not able to verify the responses. Reason being, they had not prepared any financial statements and the entity was not audited. They have never prepared financial statements since they were awarded a charter in January 2019. And the issues that they responded to are picked from the accounts of the county executive. The responses for the hospital and water company have issues that were not adequately responded to, as highlighted during the briefing. Otherwise, we are ready to proceed. Thank you, Chair.
Our clerk.
Chair, the office of the clerk wishes to confirm that the documents were sent within the timeline stipulated by the committee. However, for the municipality, there were no responses, but for the water company and the hospital, the responses were submitted. We went through them and we are ready to proceed.
Okay. Is that we do not have responses for the Maralai municipality, but we have responses for the other two entities, largely because there were no financial statements prepared for Maralan municipality. Maybe auditor, you can tell us why there were no audited reports for Maralan municipality for 2023-2024.
Honorable Chair, the reasons that there are no audited reports for Mararal municipality is due to non-submission of the financial statements as stipulated in the law.
So we are not going to proceed on Maralan because of lack of the audited report. Is that the case?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, so honorable members will only deal with the two entities. That is Samburu Water and the Samburu Referral Hospital. But I think on the matter of non-submission of financial statements is a matter that this committee needs to pronounce itself to, because the law is very clear that financial statements must be submitted to the auditors so that the auditor can generate audited reports. That is very clear in law. I don't know, who is CEC for finance? CEC for finance, or chief officer for finance?
Okay, I'm director in charge of accounting department. I can represent the CEC for finance.
No, the chief, if the CEC is not there, the chief officer?
Is not also here.
You know, these are very important accounting officers who must attend sessions of Senate, because I'm sure the governor, you are not an accountant. Eh? So how will we proceed without CEC for finance and without CEC for finance is a head of treasury according to PFM and chief officer for finance? How are we going to proceed without them?
Chair, with your permission, if the director is able to respond, I think he is represented us in other sittings before.
Chair, I will allow you to make a comment on why the financial statements were not submitted. But the person who is directly responsible, and I want the legal officer to read out the provisions of the law in relation to the chief CEC finance, is the head of treasury. All matters of finance is accountable on all matters of finance. He should be the one to answer to the issue of why financial statements were not submitted for audit. But maybe let me allow Wakili Chimera to weigh. Senator Chimera?
No, Chair, I think mine has been overtaken because you've already perhaps given direction. I just wanted to understand why the CEC and the Chief Finance Officer are not here. But since you've already given direction, I will drop that line.
Chair, before he responds, I wanted to find out if the director you are giving opportunity to say something, is he a certified accountant? Is he a CBAK?
Yes, Chair.
You are an ISPAC member?
Yes.
What is your ISPAC number?
6711.
Senator Mbogwa?
Were taken by event, but I think it would be very difficult for this committee to proceed without the persons or the people who are by law supposed to be answering the relevant questions. It will be very difficult for this committee to interrogate this team.
Chair, also our team can check if he's in good standing with ISPAC.
Yeah, but you can check, but really the main issue here is the substantive matter like this one, lack of submission of financial statement. It is the head of Treasury, who is the CEC Finance, who is directly responsible on that matter. And by the way, you know that is an offense not to submit financial statement. That is the weight of that matter. So that is why we say that the CEC Finance or the chief officer should always accompany the governor to our meetings. If he's not there, then we become very much incapacitated as a committee.
Sure.
Maybe before I allow you in, Governor, you can say
for
something.
for the CC, unfortunately, our son, who is a football player in South Africa, and should have helped us because he's the head of finance, the head of treasury in Samburu is a good lady. He's got injured and he was hospitalized and is undergoing a surgery. And I think we had to excuse her to go see her son because, you know, the husband was not there too. So she's the only human being who could sign so that the boy could go into the theater. And that is why she's not here today. She always comes.
Chair, maybe just to weigh in. You know, ultimately, everything squarely falls on the governor by dint of the fact he's the CEO of the county government. Chair, I also want to believe when these guys are coming to audit the entity, there are entry meetings and exit meetings. I don't know whether governor takes a keen interest in attending all those meetings. And secondly, by the time, Governor, you are leaving Maralal, Samburu to come to Nairobi with your team here, and I've seen it's a fairly huge team, surely you must have sat as a team to go through your responses. The first thing we should have picked, Governor, is that your team has failed to submit financial statements in contravention to the law. What steps or measures have you taken? I mean, you can't even fail to come with the chief finance officer, and you know this is something that touches on issues compliance with the law. So, Chair, I just want to put all the efforts and the blame squarely on the governor. Chair, he cannot say CEC is not here. Of course, that is much justifiable. But governor needs to tell us why that happened in the first place and why he just chose to treat this committee with that kind of contempt that we don't deserve, Chair.
Usually when the CEC finance is not available, then the chief officer should be available. Because these are matters of finance, they are matters of accountability, and the two are directly involved in matters of accountability in the county. In fact, if you read section 197 of the PFM, it's very clear where the buck stops on matters of finance. So, Senator Legwe.
Thank you, Chair. I think
it's already clear by the Office of the Auditor General that the financial statements were not submitted. The county failed to submit the financial statements, and it's clear in the law that they needed to submit those documents 3 months after the end of the financial year for audit, or to the audit to the county executive committee for subsequent submission to the Auditor General. That has failed, and we have been also informed by the Auditor General in this committee. This committee is well constituted, and I don't think there is any other reason to give the head of Treasury. I don't think there is any other reason why they can explain, or the reason they can explain to this committee why they have not submitted those documents. They are clearly in contravention of that section of the PFM Act, the Urban Cities Act, and the law in general. So there's no explanation that can justify non-submission of those documents.
Okay, I think the legal counsel, I want you to read the provisions of the law on the issue of non-submission of financial statements to the auditor.
Thank you, Chair and members. I will read for you Section 149 of the PFM Act, which is titled Responsibility of Accounting Officers Designated for County Entities. In subsection 1, an accounting officer is accountable to the County Assembly for ensuring that the resources of the entity for which the officer is designated are used in a way that is A, lawful and authorized, and B, effective, efficient, economically, and transparent. Subsection 2, in carrying out a responsibility imposed by subsection 1, an accounting officer shall, in respect of the entity concerned, A, ensure that all expenditure made by the entity complies with subsection 1, B, ensure that the entity keeps financial and accounting records that comply with this act, C, ensure that all financial and accounting records that the entity keeps in any form, including electronic form, are adequately protected and backed up, D, ensure that all contracts entered into by the entity are lawful and are complied with, E, ensure that all applicable accounting procedures are followed when acquiring or disposing of goods and services, and that in the case of goods, adequate arrangements are made for their custody, safeguarding and maintenance. F, bring a matter to the attention of the county executive committee member responsible for the entity if, in the accounting officer's opinion, a decision of policy or proposed decision or policy of the entity may result in resources being used in a way that is contrary to subsection 1. G, prepare a strategic plan for the entity in conformity with the medium-term fiscal framework. H, prepare estimates of expenditure of the entity in conformity with the strategic plan referred to in paragraph G. I, submit the estimates of an entity which is not a county corporation to the county executive committee member for finance. J, submit the estimates of an entity which is a county corporation to the executive committee member responsible for the entity who after approving it shall forward to the county executive committee member for finance. K, which is important, not later than 3 months after the end of each financial year, prepare annual financial statements for the financial year and submit them to the Auditor General for audit with a copy to the county treasury. Then I'll go to the offenses, which is in subsection 3, not later than 3 months after the county assembly has adopted a report by the committee, the county assembly with respect to reports submitted by the control of budget and let me just do subsection 4, not later than 1 month after receiving a report by an accounting officer. Under subsection 3, the county treasury shall submit to the county assembly the accounting officer's report and any comments on the report by the county treasury.
You haven't talked about non-submission of financial statements.
Okay, Chair.
Yeah? Yeah, I mean, auditor, which provision of the law? You know, lawyers, you need to come to this committee prepared. Huh? You don't need, when we say read a particular provision, go to the specific provision. Lawyers, auditors, what is the provision in law on the issue of non-submission of documents?
There on this
Financial
specific
statement.
issue on non-submission financial statements for audit for municipal of Maralal, the law that we quoted was section 46(2) of the Urban and Cities Act 2011, which states that within a period of 3 months after the end of each financial year, the board or town committee shall submit to the county executive committee its accounts for that year for transmission to the auditor general. In addition, there is another section under the Public Audit Act.
Yes, that's under
retrieve
Public
that one
Audit
in a
Act.
bit.
Chair, with your permission, if I may paraphrase, that is Public Audit Act 2015, Section 62 and 63, state that failure to submit financial statement by the end of the 3 months after year end shall attract as penalty of up to maximum of 2 million.
I really wanted that to be read out as indicated in the Public Audit Act, because I know there is an offense. Apart from a fine, there is an offense. It is an offense not to submit a financial statement for audit. Can you get that, please? Mark, you can proceed.
Yes,
Give
Chair.
us.
Section 62 of the Public Audit Act. A person shall not, shall not submit false or misleading information without justification, fail to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this Act. So the submission of the financial statements, Chair, falls under that. And I can read the offenses. A person who contravenes subsection 1, we have read C and D, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, so you hear, Governor, a fine of 5 million, option 1, imprisonment of 3 years, option 2, or both, option 3. And you know, this committee, when we sit as like a high court. Yeah, we have the powers to make a decision. But we are so disappointed that these being very crucial reports touching on financial matters, your two officers are not here. The CEC Finance and the Chief Officer Finance. So we have a matter to deal with on matters of water. Members have issues touching on the two officers. The matter of hospitals, members have issues touching on the two officers. So I don't know, members, how we will proceed without participation of these two officers who are supposed to be here even to guide the county government on these issues. So you can advise how we proceed.
Chair, I think we cannot proceed because the people who are answerable are not here to answer the questions that we have, or the questions arising, or give a reason why they did not surrender the audit statements from the municipal. Thank you.
Can I hear from another member of the committee before I allow?
Chair, maybe
yes.
just to, in addition to what Mark has said, I've listened to the provisions in law, and they are not as punitive as what I've found in the PFM Act. Maybe I can read to
Yes.
Governor. And this is section 197 of that PFM Act. It says, a public officer employed by the national government or national government entity commits an offense or financial misconduct if, without lawful authority of the officer, fails to provide any information in the officer's possession or under the officer's control in relation to the financial management, financial performance, or banking activities of that government or entity. shall be liable to an offense, and the offense is under 199, the penalties, upon conviction to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or to a fine not exceeding 10 million shillings, or to both. So he's now getting to 10 million shillings.
Senator Mbogwa?
I'm not convicted, so that's theoretical.
Chair, you know the Senate started its recess yesterday, and the members of this committee decided not to go and rest, to come here and prosecute their duties. Then we come here, and the county government of Samburu does not take the committee serious. So my position is that we should not proceed, and I think, Chair, you should pronounce yourself on this. This time around, these officers should act. It should be, whatever, should face the consequences, so that the country should know that we are serious, and they should see the consequences of not adhering to the rule.
Yeah, I need to ask a question. And Chair, you know, some of us have taken the Senate to be some training for the future, now that I intend to be a governor of Kajiado in the very near future. Chair, I needed to ask, now that it's the governor who has taken the oath, and the governor is accompanied by officers that he believes are equipped enough to respond, and the ultimate person who will take responsibility is the governor. What does the law say when the governor has presented himself with a team? He's ready to respond to our queries. What does the law say if the governor feels equipped enough to respond to the audit queries, and he's the one who has taken the oath?
Chair, with your permission, yes. I want to either answer or ride on what Senator Perez is saying. And it's true, governor has taken oath, and in taking that oath, he has tabled specific documents, Chair. Yes. And those specific documents, Chair, are documents relating to statements or an audit report on the Samburu Hospital, and the other one, I think, is on the Water and Sanitation Company Limited. Those officers running these two entities, Chair, are present before us today. And what governor has tabled is specific to those two entities. So, in as much as he has not tabled documents relating to the municipality, where we feel the officers are not even here, I think, Chair, I'm constrained to allow governor to proceed with us today, because he has tabled the documents, and those who offered the documents are present before us today. Thank you, Chair.
Let me listen to Senator Legwe.
Thank you, Chair. I think this committee is a committee that follows its own standing orders, and I want to inform the Chair that, or the members with the opinion that we need to not proceed, that we need to read every order or every agenda that we needed to interrogate before the committee today with the county executive. First, the reasons why we cannot proceed with the first item is because there is no report from the Office of the Auditor General, because statements were not submitted to the Auditor General for generation of the audit. So in that case, we cannot proceed. And in that case, we are not saying the reason why we are not proceeding is because there are officers who have not appeared before the committee. The governor is before the committee, and if we had that report, then we would have proceeded to interrogate as a committee. So the reason why we are not going with this item is because there is no report to consider, and that's already an offense by not submitting the document. Secondly, as a committee, we cannot just end our agenda before we read even the order. For example, we cannot consider the accounts of Samburu County Water and Sanitation Company even before we read that order. So we have to proceed and read that order, then find whether we are able to proceed according to our standing orders. And same to Samburu Referral Hospital. So, Chair, I propose, because I'm a friend of this committee, we have already dispensed the other item, we cannot proceed. But on the other two items, we have to go and see, then if there are any other issues that may come up at that point, then we will proceed, or we will make the decision at that point. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, I think we have been here for some time. I think myself and Senator Kisang, we are old members of this committee. The others are new members. And Governor, if you may recall, we have had, on many occasions that you have appeared, the meeting has never taken off because of challenges like this. And today we were really keen to proceed and not to send you away because we need to conclude the matter of water, which in two instances we have not looked at because of the challenges which have been there. The hospital, I know, is the first time. It is, we are looking at it. But, honorable members, I think we need to send a very clear message to the people, the staff who work in finance, the CEC Finance and Chief Officer Finance. We send a strong message. They are the ones who lead the preparation of these responses. They are the ones who work with the auditors during the audit process. And the law is very clear that the Chief CEC Finance is the head of Treasury. The Chief Officer is the one who does day-to-day running of the finance function in the counties. So they cannot run away from this. They are the ones who are supposed to ensure the financial statements are prepared, they are taken to the auditor conducts the audit. They are also members of the professional body ISPAC. And they know what ISPAC entails them to do. So when we have cases where an entity has not had financial statement for 3 financial years, then there is a problem. And especially municipality. The municipality has been receiving donor funds. The municipality has been receiving money from the county. We cannot have a scenario where there are no financial statements and therefore there are no audits, and that implies there is no accountability. No, just wait. I want now to give my direction as the chair. Yes. Just let me, yeah, proceed.
What our understanding up to now was that the municipality was audited. And we have queries here about 2 that we've answered based on the audit report that was provided for by the auditors. So somehow the municipality was audited.
Just to correct you, the municipality was not audited as an entity.
Yeah,
it was the issues of municipality were audited as part of the executive financial statement.
And that's what I wanted to read here. Our reason here is that by the time of the audit, according to the reasons given based on the audit query, at the time of the audit, the municipality was not yet autonomous. It was still embedded within the Department of Lands under the county government of Samburu. So everything municipality was actually audited, but audited under the Department of Lands in Samburu County. So the question whether auditing was done, yes. Whether it was done as an autonomous body, no. So everything municipality could be seen within the framework of the audit of the Department of Lands. I just wanted to say that. I don't know if that helps, but that is that is the situation when the auditing was carried.
Okay, the issue there is that once you give a charter to a municipality, then it becomes an entity, which according to the law, PFM, is supposed to have its own financial statements, which also means it should be autonomous. Once you get the charter, the Urban Areas and the Cities Act and the relevant provision of the PFM kicks in. So you see now the charter was given in, was it 2018?
January 2019.
2019. So 2019, we are now in 2023. So that is about 3 financial years. So that is where the problem is, Governor, that the accountants should have seen it fit as per the law to ensure that financial statements were prepared for this entity and not lump it together with the executive. That's where the problem is.
Yeah, with your permission again.
Yes.
The reason why we keep like Kalkuli very close to us, because he's one of the few remnants in the last government, and he has a lot of knowledge and information. Because 2019 I was not the governor. I am the governor now. So please, just if you can give a reason, because I also feel bad if we've not separated municipality with the Department of Lands. That also to me doesn't, if that's what the law says. So maybe just allow him a minute to tell us whether there is any reason, however small, why a municipality was not audited independently. Because I agree with you, I feel sorry for that we have an issue of the same, because there will be no reason. We should just audit as per the law. So please allow me to...
Chair.
Sure, Governor,
I just want to say something, and I don't know if you heard the governor say some of the staff who work with the county government as remnants. So we need to withdraw that from the record of this committee, because we don't consider any staff of our county as remnants. These are staff of the county government of Samburu. And governments are always in perpetuity.
I withdraw.
In which
governors withdrawn.
Chair.
Yeah,
Chair, I don't think we should allow governor's request for this gentleman to speak, because it is on record. He's clear himself saying that in his understanding the audit was done when the board was part of the executive. That is enough reason for us to know why they didn't submit financial statements. But then again, Governor, I will still blame you. You can't say these are 2019 issue. Last time I met you, Governor, you had 2 lawyers with you. You had a legal advisor and you had a county attorney. People I have interacted with, very competent fellas. Either you're not seeking legal advice from them or you don't want to be advised by them, Governor. You cannot say from 2019 up to date, you have not, and it is in your words that you said the board is not autonomous. Yet there is a law and you have 2 lawyers working for you, Governor. Is it that you are contemptuously not seeking legal advice, Governor? Or you don't want to be advised, or you refuse to be advised intentionally, Governor?
Yes.
I respect every profession. If you look at the people I have as my CCs, just to give us an example, to clear something here, all of them actually represent their professions. If you look at the guy sitting here, this guy is a surgeon. He's a CC for health. His CEO is a doctor. He's the person running the referral office is also a doctor. The person, I have lawyers who I trust, but I'm not a lawyer myself. So I want to...
And that's why we are trying to protect you, because, let me tell you, Governor, if we proceed to examine these reports, then you will be forced to answer very technical questions, which I don't think you are prepared to do that.
Because the accountant is telling me you can read this. They have actually handed this report after the audit, so whether that helps.
Okay. Now I want to give direction.
He has the reports now.
I want to give directions here. Honorable members, there is the issue of Maralal municipality, which has no financial statements, and that is an offense. And this offense cannot go unpunished. It cannot go unpunished. For 3 financial years, no report at all. And we have accountants who are being paid by the county, the CEC Finance and the Chief Officer Finance. I think we will retreat as a committee and take action on the two, based on the Public Audit Act that has been read. And you know the options are a fine of how many million? Yeah, and then imprisonment or both. And accountants, we want you to take your work very seriously because you are a professionals, you are answerable to your professional body, ISPAC, in terms of maintaining standards, and we cannot continue allowing this to happen. You need to support your county government, you need to support your governor on this. And even county attorney. County attorney, you must be alive. Is the county attorney here?
No, she's not here today.
Yeah, key people. County attorney is the one who advises on such legal matters. Should always be in this meeting. So I think we will proceed with the water and the hospitals, but we will certainly give the way forward on Marara Hospital. And you know, soon we are going to Marara Municipality. And maybe the auditor, you can tell us, have they submitted financial statement for 2024, 2025?
Honorable Chair, yes, they submitted the financial statements for the financial year 2023-2024 on the 3rd of March 2025.
Chair, you should note that's also...
That the outside the
timelines, yes.
The timelines.
And late submission is also contained in the paragraph that I read, section 62.
Yeah, so late submission is a problem. There is non-submission at all, and then there is late submission. So anyway, we will make a decision on Marara Hospital and any municipality, but let's proceed with we start with the hospital. So auditor, I think you need to proceed the way we had agreed in the pre-meeting. We start with the hospital.
Yes. Chair, we are here to present and read the issues for Samburu County Teaching and Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2024. We did audit the financial statement presented, and we issued a qualified opinion. And Chair, with your permission, during the briefing, we had agreed that we'll look at specific issues.
Yes, proceed with those issues.
Thank you. So the first issue, which is number 2 on my qualified opinion, paragraph 2, which is anomalies in the rendering of service, medical service income. So as reported previously, the statement of financial performance reflects an amount of Kenya shillings 53,001,286 in respect of rendering of services, medical services income, NHIF, as disclosed in Note 11 to the financial statements. The amount includes Kenya shillings 22,028,106 and Kenya shillings 29,960,200 and Kenya shillings 1,014,980 in respect of NHIF capitation received, NHIF inpatient claims received, and facility improvement financial collections, respectively. Review of records revealed that management only recognized the actual amount received from NHIF instead of recognizing the amounts invoiced to NHIF clients for services rendered. No explanation was provided by management for failure to comply with the accrual basis of accounting, which requires revenue to be recognized when earned rather than when received. The circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of rendering of services, medical services income of Kenya shillings 53,001,286 could not be confirmed.
Governor, your management response?
I will ask the CC for Health to respond.
CC, please.
So, Mr. Chairman, the actual concept of accounting recommends that transactions being recorded in the period they occur, regardless of when the actual cash flows are received or paid out. On the other hand, the principle of prudence or conservatism is the practice of ensuring that the agency does not overvalue its asset or income, are not overstated in the books. Both concepts are acceptable and used in the generating reports. Due to the uncertainties, delays, and inconsistency experienced in NHIF payment, invoice amounts are often revised down, or are dishonored altogether. Management was of view that actual cash received be recorded in compliance with the prudence principle. However, at the advice of the auditor, going forward, we are going to change the revenue recognition and we will be capturing the invoice revenue and not the received amount to avoid underestimate of our revenue.
Auditor, your comments on that response?
Our comment is IPSAS 9, revenue from exchange transactions requires revenue to be recognized when services have been rendered and can be reliably measured. So by the time an invoice has been issued, then these conditions have been met. So then that means, because of this, the revenue were understated. So issue was not adequately addressed.
Mark, what's your comment?
Chair, in fact, the response as given does not respond to what we expected as has been read out by the auditor. So, Chair, I think they have indicated they will review going forward, but the fact remains that that was an error at that time. That confirmation can only be done as you review the 24-25 financial statements, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, honorable members, your comments. This is very clear that the NHIF claims were received, but the corresponding invoices were missing. So I don't think this even your response, CEC for Health, is does not address the real issue here. The real issue is that they wanted the corresponding invoices to NHIF be shown, so that you don't just say we have received this amount of money, but what did you claim? Where are your invoices to NHIF? In fact, you should have attached those invoices here. They are not attached. Honorable members, comments? Now, these are some of the issues that why we were insisting we need CEC Finance and Chief Officer Finance. And there are so many instances like this in the responses. Members? Comment, question?
When you have a CEO for health here, who is an accounting officer for health, doesn't it suffice as CFO? Because I think the one who is the one who invoices and does all those things. We have the CEO who is an accounting officer for health.
He's an accounting officer, but you see now this guy, the explanation that is being given here, they are talking about issues of accrual. Accrual, principles of prudency, and you have heard what the auditors have said, that they needed to apply some standard, accounting standard on this, which was not applied. So this accrual thing or principle of prudency does not apply here. It is just an application of a specific standard in the Public Accounting Standards Board requirements. We have someone from Treasury here. I would like him to make a comment on this response.
Thank you, Chair. I think the audit had specified specifically on the public sector accounting standards. And these are the standards which are supposed to be used by the government entities. So we recommend that those standards are supposed to be used, of course, for uniformity and other necessary measures that are supposed to be to ease the administration of these entities. And the Chair, we have trained so many staff in counties, and I recently participated in one of them, and we had so many staff from counties. So I don't know whether the governor has been inviting some of these staff, because we are now training staff on the accrual. Because as it is now, we have given transformational period, transition period of 3 years. And this accrual started from 1st July 2024, and it is going up to 30th June 2027. Of course, these issues of assets which has been there for so long, which are not captured in the asset register. And we had all those stuff from assets management, financial reporting, and so, Chair, I think we go by the standards. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, my concern is because so many other counties have come before this committee, is there a unique challenge in Samburu that they cannot keep to compliance in accounting standards?
You have raised a very important question, and that's why initially we were struggling with the issue of the absence of the CEC for Finance and Chief Officer on this matter, because every county, as the Treasury expert has said, must comply with the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board requirements. Yeah. So when you read through this, you don't see that in the picture. So if they were here, we would give them specific direction, but we will still give them interim recommendation on the need to comply to the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board requirements. So, honorable members, I think we will note that this query is not resolved. It's remaining hanging. We will now move to the next query.
Honorable Chair, the next issue is non-disclosure of property, plant, and equipment. As previously reported, the statement of financial position and as disclosed in Note 31 to the financial statements reflects property, plant, and equipment balance of 2.4 million. However, review of records revealed that the hospital had various assets of undetermined value, which included land, buildings, furniture, computers, and equipment. However, the assets were not disclosed in the financial statements. Further, ownership documents for the lot were not provided for audit. In the circumstances, the accuracy, completeness, and valuation of property, plant, and equipment could not be confirmed. We had agreed that we combine that issue with the next issue, that is unsupported inventories balance. As previously reported, the statement of financial position reflects a nil balance for inventories, while Note 30 to the financial statements reflects an amount of 2.7 million in respect to inventories. Further, the stock taking report to confirm the hospital carried out stock taking exercise was not provided for audit review, contrary to Section 162(2) of the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015, which states that the head of procurement function shall arrange for occasional visits of inspection to the stores at least quarterly in each calendar year and conduct quarterly and annual inventory stock taking in order to ensure